Boom. I think after all these technology woes that we are live. I think. What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video. This one's a bit of a weird one. My first ever interview on the channel, and it is with a man that needs probably no introduction. But I'm going to introduce him anyway. He's drifted all over the world, done exhibitions all over the world and competitions. Probably one of the biggest drifters to come out of Australia. Jake Jones, aka Drift Squid. How you doing, bro?
Good, mate. Good.
Yeah.
How you going? Thanks heaps for bringing me on your channel.
No worries.
Sick.
Thanks for coming on the channel. Let's call this the lockdown interviews. Number one.
Lockdown for you guys.
Oh yeah, right. How is it
Yeah.
over your neck of the woods?
It's good, man. We don't have any issues. We still have toilet paper on our shelves.
How good.
And pasta, all that good stuff, you know. So don't have to get one milk and walk out and come back in and get another milk, you know.
Dude, I love pasta. I'm lucky that Tara cooks for me, and we're only allowed one person to go down to the shops, and it was never going to be me because I always just rock back with like candy, pies and chips and stuff. So she goes down to the shops and she cooks all the meals, and it's rad. So I guess I'm lucky in that sense. But yeah. So how's life? How's everything?
Yeah, not too bad, man.
Yeah.
Like I'm, just like you, trying to make something from nothing.
Yeah.
And
Hell yeah.
yeah. Unfortunately, I've had to go back to work.
Yeah.
But that's
Boo.
yeah, that's life.
It is
isn't
what it is,
like,
man.
I didn't even have that much time off, really.
Yeah.
But yeah, the last drift event I did just racked up too much money.
Dude, it's because that some of you choose through tyres like nothing else. That's why. And
Yeah.
what, 5 reruns in the final battle?
Yeah, that was just silly.
That's nuts, eh? How good though?
Yeah, it was good,
Yeah.
but it's like, come on, guys, make a call. Like,
Yeah.
just tell us the cars were cooking.
That's unheard of, eh?
tyres,
Yeah, crazy.
The tyres were that hot.
Yeah.
That as we come back in, we'd get out, check them, because they were those Kenda KR 20As or whatever they
Yeah,
are.
yeah,
And they were like just growing blisters
yeah. Just
as
cooking
we were
in that
standing there looking at them.
Crazy.
And then they just pop and fall to bits.
Yeah,
And I was
yeah.
like, what the hell?
We may as well, before we get into that, I guess, start. I want to hear about the Jake Jones Drift Squid story from the beginning. That's what I want to know, because I know you and we're mates. And we've been mates for a bit now, ever since I made you a tool from like a 14mm bolt next to you at Winton that time in the paddocks to help under your rack or something. My car was blown up, by the way, because it always is. But
Yeah, but it was still running. You were still having a lot of fun in it.
yeah, true. That's true. It's just kind of falling to bits at the same time. But the Jake Jones Drift Squid story, where does it begin?
You want to go like...
I want to go back, like way back.
Like back when I first seen drifting?
Back when you first, maybe when you first seen drifting, when you first decided to buy a car, what the car was,
All right.
and how
All right.
you've done what you've done.
All right. So the first time I seen drifting was like when I was 14 or 15.
Yeah.
And it was an option DVD that my mate at the time, his older brother, was watching.
Yeah.
So we just
Sick.
walked past his room, seen it on the telly, and I'm like, what the hell is that? Like, you know,
Awesome.
when you first see drifting, you're like, what is this craziness
Yeah.
going on, you know? Like,
100%.
and then, yeah, I was glued to it. Didn't want to freaking leave. I just want to know everything about it.
Yeah.
And that sort of started our group of like friends knowing about drifting, and then everyone started researching it. And,
How old were you?
Sorry.
How old were you?
I think I was like 14.
Crazy.
Oh,
Not even
yeah, it would've been-
first car age.
hey?
Not even old enough to buy a car.
Oh, no way. But I was
Crazy.
like, we were all into cars. Like we were obsessed with getting cars, getting our license, and none of us could do it because we were still at school, and all we wanted to do was be freaking 16 so we could go get our license. And
How good.
you know, so I then turned 15 and started knowing, not a lot, but I was buying all those high performance imports DVDs.
Yep.
And like, man, I was even buying those high PSI t-shirts. And
So you're like full true fanboy, like Japanese fanboy days.
yeah.
Yep.
And then after just watching those DVDs flat out, I thought, I just need to get a job so then I can get some money, so then I can get a car. So when I started school in year 11,
Yeah.
I think I was a week into it, and I was like, nah, this ain't me. This ain't
Yeah.
me. I'm not doing school anymore. And I was working at a transport company from like the age of 12 or 13, just washing trucks.
Yeah.
And so I just said to them, look, I want to quit. I want a full-time job. And they said, yep, no worries, done. Like, you got a good work ethic.
Crazy.
We'll take you on board. Asked my dad, because I was living with him at the time, and he just said, if you get a job, you can quit school. No problem there at all.
Man, not
So
many
I
parents
did.
would say that.
Yeah.
I tell you what, that's crazy.
Yeah, well, he would have done the same when he was younger. So, yeah, did that, and I just, worked like crazy. And I think I got enough money to get a car by the time I was 17.
Man.
And I started with a DR30.
This R31 Skyline?
The one before that,
That's
R30.
crazy. That'd be worth mass money today as well. That is mental.
I bought it for like $7,000, and it had a like 100 and it's like 200 kilowatt.
Yeah.
At the time, it was 150 kilowatt FJ20.
Yeah, FJ20. That is so good. An engine that
Yeah.
you wouldn't find these days either.
And then when I got that car, I didn't drift it ever.
Yeah.
Like I don't know what sort of happened, but I just went cruising around in it and,
Crazy. Yeah.
fast in it and didn't do any drifting in it really. Like started setting it up to do drifting and then ended up selling it to buy an already built drift car from one of the local SA dudes who was just killing it at the time.
Sick. So you just went straight into a built drift car? Properly?
Yeah, I thought, what am I doing? Why am I bothering building a car when I can just buy someone's already proven car and then it's all on me, like
That is wicked.
Yeah.
What was it?
Sure enough, I put so much pressure on myself.
Yeah.
The first event I went out to, I just went straight into a tyre wall.
I've definitely done that before about 4 times, so... Jesus.
So,
that is wicked.
yeah.
And that was it, you were sold?
No, I almost gave it up because I spent like 20 grand and hadn't even gone through a set of tyres on the track. And I was like, maybe this isn't for me.
That's nuts, though. 20 grand straight off the bat.
Yeah, that was like because I bought the car, then the engine blew up before I got to the track, and then this happened and the crash and like all these things happened. So much happened in between, like before that as well, but it's not worth mentioning.
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
Just
all the
random
dramas.
stuff. Yeah.
I know him very well.
And then I thought I'll give it one last crack. And I went out and had one of the best days ever. I think I only went through a couple of pairs of tyres, and I was hooked.
So
and then
good.
I thought this old CA18, which was in it, I thought I'll forge that and get like 200 kilowatt. So I got the motor built, bigger turbo, all that stuff, and got 200 kilowatt out of it, and then I blew it up. It's pretty much straight away.
Running it on like the absolute edge of what it can run. Crazy.
And I was always obsessed with Nomiken's R34 and like just the sound that it had.
Awesome.
So I needed an RB. That was like my next thing. So I put an RB25 in the car I had.
Yeah.
And it was a monster, man. It was so good. I only had 200 kilowatt, but I
back then as well with the torque, it would feel like freaking everything.
It was amazing.
So good.
And drifted that for ages. Then put a GDRS turbo on it. Started doing interstate comps.
Yeah.
And,
just towing with a trailer? Just
Hey?
hiring a trailer and just towing around, or?
Yeah. And then the last event I did in that car, an old company called Wheelworks, who I used to idolise all the guys that drove for them.
Yeah, Wheelworks is rad.
Yeah, and they were the dudes I looked up to, like Lyndon Reynolds and Adam May, and like Tom Monkhouse. These dudes were like just killing it everywhere they went, and so I ended up buying one of their cars after I started associating with them a bit.
Yeah.
And bought one of their cars, and then I had same thing again, like engine blew, gearbox blew, like everything just turns to crap, and then you just build new stuff. And
it's nice to know that I'm not the only one that goes through that type of stuff. For the first couple of years, it's nuts, eh?
Like you look back and you're like, geez, how did you keep like going?
Yeah.
Like,
and at the time as well, it's just like, why am I doing this? It's nuts, eh? That's so good.
Yeah.
By the way, I just want to take a quick minute to shout out to everyone who's made Slim Shady jokes about my hair. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, I was going to mention it. I figured you've been bullied that much about it, but
dude, I love it. I'm stoked. I got
it
was the quarantine kind of got to me, and Tara was like, I was like, how do I bleach my hair? And she's like, I'll buy you the products. She bought me some pink stuff as well to put through it, so you might see some pink hair at some point, guys. But I'm all about it, man. The only thing is, it wasn't supposed to be yellow; it was supposed to be white. So I've got to fix that up. But whatever, it's all good.
Yeah, I can't help you there, man.
Yeah.
I can help you with how to go grey though.
Nice, dude. How old are you?
Have a guess.
I'd say like 27.
Yeah, nah. Almost 32.
Oh, I'm older than you.
Really?
Yeah, I'm 32.
No shit.
Yeah, man.
Wow. I think we've spoken about this
I'm pretty sure we've
before,
had the same conversation before, eh?
Yeah, and I was blown away that you were older than me.
Everyone just thinks like that we're young. Like, you look young. Yeah. You got a baby face. Nothing wrong with that, though.
Nah. Maybe it's just because we're immature.
That's so immature. I'm pretty sure that's what keeps me young, because I'm pretty sure I'm the young at heart. You know what I mean? And so it just comes out of my face. Although I do have wrinkles, so just don't look too close. Yeah, crazy. How did you transition from being a drifter in Australia to being a drifter that can be international?
Yes, this is a very good topic.
Awesome.
So 2010, I just picked up Yokohama as a sponsor. So
good.
And that was like amazing, you know, like no one gets sponsored by Yokohama in Australia ever before. And you know, it wasn't like, oh, now you're sponsored, you're laughing. It was I got discount on a pair of front tires to start with.
Yeah.
Okay. So no one ever knows this.
No.
Like, I've never made it public or anything, but that was the first sponsorship deal. Like, I got discount on some Neovas.
Yeah.
And then I pretty much had to prove myself for the first year. So I thought, you know what? I'm going to make sure they know I'm serious. I'm going to commit and send my car to New Zealand to do a whole series.
D1NZ?
Yeah.
Crazy.
So I just I looked into it, realised it was going to cost a small fortune.
What was the price? Like, just ballpark figure, like pricing up a season to go to D1NZ from Australia?
So I worked it out. I was working at a winery at the time making in between 900 to 1,100 a week, depending what shift I was on, like days, nights, or afternoons.
Yep.
And it was 12 grand. No, it was 10 grand to ship my car over there and return. So I had to get 10 grand
just to get it there.
That.
Yep, there and back.
Just to get it there and back. Yep. Then there was a carnet, insurance. There's all these other little things that popped up after.
Yep.
Just bite you on the ass all the time. Yep. And then
there's actual events and tyres and everything as well, which is nuts.
Oh, yeah. Dude, you got entry fees. You got, like Yokohama helped out with some tyres, but they don't have their tyres over there.
Yeah.
So it was like...
You still got to get them there.
That was another mission.
Crazy.
And then there's, you know, just getting fuel for the cars, getting it looked after. Like, man, I had an absolute nightmare of a year over there because the car, like, I upgraded everything, put GDR rear end in it, got PPG dog box, I got built engine, had some great support from a mechanic shop here in SA before I shipped it. So the car was like brand new.
Yeah.
And I took it out to Malala like 2 days before it was meant to go in a container just to make sure everything was all sweet.
Yep.
And a freaking rag was somehow in the hot side of the cooler, and it got sucked back into the turbo and just destroyed the turbo. Yep. It's like, what the... Like, I didn't even work on the car with any rag. Yep. So it's like, how's this happened? You know? Yep. And then... I went out to the Adelaide turbo shop and I said, look, man, I need this rebuilt like now, ASAP.
Yep.
He rebuilt it, chucked it on the car, went to my local dyno tuner at the time, which is more power.
Yep.
We did one run and it just spat oil out the front of the turbo.
Crazy. And so it wasn't rebuilt properly.
Well, the seals must have been reused or something. So I took it back to the turbo shop and I'm like, dude, I'm going to New Zealand tomorrow with this car.
Yep.
I don't care what you think of the seals in there.
Yeah.
Can you please put new ones in? I'll pay. Like, I don't care. Just do
Just
it.
fucking get it done, yeah.
Yeah, and he put new seals in. I raced it back to the dyno, and we chucked it on. It was sweet.
Yeah.
It was all good. And then I was like, yes, let's get in the container. Got to New Zealand. Like, and that's where I met, like, Mad Mike and Tony. And, like, everyone over there was just so helpful.
Awesome.
Like, I become real good mates with a guy called Paul Tomlin down in the South Island.
Yeah, no, Paul Tomlin, yeah.
Yeah, and he helped me out so much, man.
Awesome.
Like, this is New Zealand's amazing. You'd know.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
They're all legends. Yep. But yeah, I just had oil pumps breaking. I had I got stuck in the earthquake.
Yeah.
I got
Dude,
and
that was gnarly.
Yeah.
Oh my god, we're both in that. That was that's on another level, huh?
You were there on the first, the second?
All of them, yeah.
Oh man,
yeah, gnarly, huh?
Yeah, it was terrible.
Yeah, because we've talked about this. I think you were there, and your car was in a shop or something, wasn't it?
Yeah, we had the PPG dog box all over the bench,
Crazy.
and then that's when the big one hit.
Yeah,
and my car was stuck on a hoist, and obviously lost all power. And,
yeah.
Well, I look back on that, man, and I think I'm just so lucky to still be here.
100%. Yeah.
So many people aren't still here, you know, like
everything else is kind of insignificant, but
yeah.
And
then that story alone was another massive adventure.
Yeah.
Like, I hitchhiked out of there to get to the ferry.
Yeah, you told me that. That's crazy.
You know, to get to, is it Picton?
Yep, Picton to get to Wellington.
Yeah,
to go to the ferry.
Yeah, so I hitchhiked to Picton.
Crazy.
And then got the ferry to Wellington, and then good old Hugo picked me up in Wellington.
How was that?
And yeah, I was sick, man. He took me to the next D1 round in Taupo, and I rocked up, and the whole community decided to get me a car, a race suit, a helmet.
Oh, really?
So I could do the next round. Yeah.
Awesome.
And that's when I met Jake Huckerai.
Yeah. That's nuts.
And I burnt his car to the ground.
That is rough, eh?
Yeah.
Because that earthquake that day, I was driving my S14, and we were actually working on the side of the building that collapsed. Like my team.
Oh, you're joking?
Yeah, because I was a roofer at the time. But so long story short story long, I don't know. Anyway, I was on the side of that building that collapsed the whole day, the day before, at the top of a scissor lift. Stories on the side of that building. And then the next day, I gave my boss a call, and he's like, I was like, do you want me to go back to the CTV building? And he's like, no, you and Brock go finish this roof, and me and the boys will finish the CTV building. And I was like, sweet. And then that's when it all happened. And then we took my Sylvia, drove into the city, and we were walking, like, we could only get so far. Everything was crazy. And we're walking down the street, and we're like, man, we're on the wrong street. And like, no, pretty sure this is the street. This is the street sign. It says we're on the right street. And we're like, where's the building? Like, we were walking down, and then we realized that it collapsed, and we're like, holy crap. It was nuts. And then I drove my Sylvia home, but there's this stuff called liquefaction that comes up through the ground in an earthquake.
I remember, yep.
That's nuts. Like, the liquid, and I was driving through, and it was like not halfway up my wheels, and then by the time I got like to the end of the street, I was sitting on my roof, like it had come up over the whole roof of my car, and the dude in the Hilux had to like come and save me. It was nuts. Somehow we ended up saving the S14, and I sold it to someone. So I sold it to Tiger White, actually, a drifter from New Zealand.
Jeez,
crazy though. Yeah,
man.
those earthquakes were nuts, eh? By the way, shout out Dylan Rastrick. You're a legend, dude. Just a friend of mine watching from Christchurch.
Oh, good egg.
Yeah,
even Paul's on. I've seen Paul's on here.
Couple of people, yeah. How rad. Oh, should we answer a couple of questions before we go on?
Yeah, do that. Do that.
Someone said, what's an entry fee for D1NZ?
Oh, man. Put me on the spot now. That was 10 years ago,
You can go
bro.
ballpark figure if you want.
Oh, Jesus. I reckon 10 years ago it would have been a season long.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, pay for the whole season.
Thing?
Yeah.
So it would have been a few grand.
Yeah. That's
Would
alright.
have had to have been. Because I remember now, because I missed 2 rounds because of, I don't know what happened, but I got stuck or the car wasn't ready or something. But I missed 2 rounds, and I remember when I caught the car on fire, I had to pay a huge fire extinguisher bill.
Yeah.
And so I said, hey, Brendan, can you help me out here and just, take my entry fee and pay for that?
Damn. That's rough, dude.
It was like...
That's gnarly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, well. I mean, you live and you learn, I guess, and you've went on to do much bigger things after that anyway. How many rounds did you get actually to compete in that year?
Sorry.
How many rounds did you actually get to compete in that D1NZ that year?
I think only one.
Yeah, that's rough.
Like I was there for all of them, but the car broke. I think the last round we had the car, and that was in Hampton Downs.
Yeah, Paul Tomlin actually chimed in and said $1,000, I think. So it must be about $1,000 for a round for entry.
Well, he was doing the season with me, so
damn.
Yeah, must have been. You got a good memory, Paul.
You got to have the money for sure. That's crazy. Someone is asking, would Jake ever own an E36, like the best car you can buy? So,
I honestly think I should do a straight swap with Mike. That's for sure.
RBM. Look at these two photos next to us, around us on the live stream. Imagine swapping these two cars. Probably worth the same amount of money.
100%.
We're going to speak about the RBM3 soon for sure, by the way. But so.
Oh, I'm scared.
I can't wait, man. I freaking love that thing. That thing is a dream. Someone quickly just asked Damon Gilshee, what's the color code for your hair, Mike? It's it's called Sunshine Dreams. So by Weller. So
really?
No, I made that up.
Oh, jeez.
Oh snap. Sweet. So, where does Team Orange come into this?
Oh, yeah. Okay. So, the Yokohama deal.
Yeah.
Obviously, I committed massively.
Yeah.
Right. Did all the New Zealand thing. That whole New Zealand campaign. They, I'm not going to get into that bit. But anyway, as an appreciation sort of thing, when I got back, we put this plan together to basically say, if I can get if I can build your Facebook page up, will you be keen to get me to Japan to maybe do a round?
Sick.
And they said, yeah, like, if you can get us a like, we'll give you $1 for each like you get our page.
Oh, crazy! Imagine that now. Jeez, that wouldn't be hard.
Yeah, I know. And I'm like, this is gonna be awesome because there's so many people that would love to see me get over there.
Yep. You just campaign for it, hey.
All we have to do is say, look, if you guys just go to this page and hit that like button, it's gonna give me $1 to get overseas.
Sick.
Like, and it took off. Like, we got 10,000 likes on their page. I don't know how long it took us, but it didn't take long. And then I can't remember if I had the meeting with Team Orange before.
Yeah.
I must have, because I used to fly to Japan with Ian Baker.
Yeah.
The World Time Attack CEO.
Yep.
So he'd go on trips over there to organise cars for his World Time Attack and whatever.
Yeah.
And he's actually helped me with the Yokohama deal to begin with as well.
Yeah.
So he just said every time he went on a trip, he's like, oh, you want to come? Like, just get a flight and come hang out or whatever. And I was like, hell yeah. So it was just...
You got to take opportunities like that when they come up.
Oh, every time, man. So I think it was my second trip to Japan. And he's like, oh, we're going to Yokohama today for a meeting. Yeah. You're going to want to come. So we went there and get there and freaking Kumakubo's at the end of the table.
So good.
And I was like...
You would have just been like, holy...
I was losing my shit. Because I had this massive afro back then. And he was probably looking at me like, who the hell is this kid? You know, why is he in this meeting?
Yeah. By the way, bring back the afro. Love that.
I can't, bro. Mrs. won't let me.
Damn.
Yeah. Anyway. So anyway, they had this massive meeting. It was all in Japanese. And then he turns at the end of it and he says to me, you must come to Ibisu. And I said, yeah. Like, I want it. Yeah. He said, tomorrow, you come.
Awesome.
I was like, really? He's like, yeah, you come. And it was snowing.
Yeah.
But by the time the snow hit the ground, it turned to water.
Yeah.
So it kind of wasn't, but was. Yeah. So anyway, the next morning, got up heaps early, caught the bullet train, went out there, and I got there. I just thought I was going to have a look around and stuff to join out. It was freaking nuts. Yeah. And we get into his office, and he's just like, right, here's the keys to the school car. Like, it's just a stock S14.
Yeah.
And he said, go anywhere you want but Minami.
Yeah, yeah, of course.
And I was like, really? And he's like, yeah, just go and have some fun. There was no one in there in the whole joint. There was no one.
Yeah.
And I even think that was pre-power vehicle days. Like, there was literally
Old
no
school,
one there.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I just went on the toge course.
Yeah.
I went, like...
Man,
I was just
imagine just running amok there. That is crazy, hey. That's the dream.
It was insane.
Yeah.
And then finished that day, and we made a bit of video about it. And then, yeah, that's when it all started happening.
That kicked off.
When we basically decided that if Jay can come over and pass so many criteria, is he allowed to do D1?
Yeah.
And, yeah, sure enough, it was like, you can come and attempt to do D1 sort of thing. You can't just get it. Like, you've got to... So I then went,
Jump
like,
through
when
hoops.
we did the campaign, everything worked out. I went over there and I spent like a week doing all these school courses and learning their way of driving.
Yeah.
And
what do you reckon? What did you think about it at the time? Were you stoked? Was it hard? Was it weird?
Oh, it's the best thing ever, man.
Sick.
It's like going to it's like studying something you love. Like, you just soak it all in.
Crazy.
And you're just loving it, you know. And I remember I had it in my head that I wanted to go over there and try and impress them.
Yeah.
Like my driving style. But as soon as I got there, they basically said,
stop doing what you're doing.
Leave that back in Australia. This is how we want you to drive. But it was so good. But as soon as I got back in my car in Australia, I went back to my old ways. And then I still do it now. I still go back to my old ways, but every now and then a little bit that I learnt from over there will trigger me and I'll be like, oh, that's right, you know.
Well, it's crazy though, because there's different driving styles. You know, like for example, Chris Forsberg went to China and they said that it was super weird over there, the way they judge versus and what they expect versus Formula Drift in America. It's so like it seems that every country has their own like unique way of going about it, which is crazy because drifting kind of just seems like drifting, but it's not.
Yeah.
It's mental, so like I can definitely understand. I mean, and everyone has their opinion about which one's better or whatever. I think they're all just awesome in their own right, but yeah, that's crazy, dude. What an opportunity.
Yeah, and then I'll just touch base on a little bit more.
Yeah,
there,
for sure.
Because obviously I'm missing massive amounts of information. You know, like I'm just trying to get the good bits. But so I did. It was like a whole week there, and I had Alexi Noriara.
Yep.
He was doing all the translating.
Sick.
And it was so good to have him there because he's just making life so much easier. And I did all the training, and it wasn't until like the afternoon before we were meant to leave for a diver. They said, okay, now you're ready to drive the WRX. And I was like, man, I'm not even going to get like a lap in before I go and do D1. This is ridiculous.
Yeah, that is crazy, huh?
But they just wanted to make sure that I was ready, you know? Like it was.
I wonder what the clicking point was, where they were just like, yep, wax on, wax off until there's just like...
Who knows, man. But then, as soon as I got in it, I think I did like one set of tyres. It was freaking nuts. Like I was just buzzing, you know, like everything was just nuts. And I broke it, actually. Like I was trying to do what they said with these spastic, like crazy quick transitions, and I actually snapped the knuckle on the car, and it was like stuck there. They had to get a forklift and take it away and fix it.
Crazy.
So I got one set of tyres in before I went to basically
compete,
dive and do D1.
Awesome.
It was just freaking nuts. So, and then they said, you break it, you bought it, which was very scary, man. Because I seen these cars up for sale for 250 grand.
Yeah, wow.
They had it on their website like a few years earlier. They were selling all their cars for so much money, and they were selling. People were buying.
That would hold you back from being super aggressive as well, wouldn't it? Or not?
Oh, 100%. Yeah, like I as soon as I heard that, I was like, got to a dive. It's a concrete jungle. And I can't. I just got to use this as like a marketing thing. I can't push it to the limit, you know. And then, you know, and then you think you got tactics here in Australia. Oh, man.
Well,
the tactics.
They had Dago Saito come into the FD, and he had tactics for when he came into FD, like brake checking and stuff like that. Even though people tried to say it was or wasn't there, you could definitely tell you know, that's just the style though. What he's used to and how it goes. You know what I mean? So that's pretty gnarly.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Although,
and then at the end of it, like I felt like I got a little bit stitched up because I got the invoice for the whole trip.
Yeah.
And in there was insurance.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why the hell wasn't I told about this insurance?
Oh, otherwise you could have just gone Hundy.
Could have gone all out.
Yeah. Crazy.
Yeah, that was a... But, you know, at the end of the day, it was a freaking amazing experience.
Tyler, by the way, shout out Tyler, asks, Tyler Nadort asks, what's your favourite track in Ibiza and why?
To be, like, I didn't spend a huge amount of time.
Yep.
Like, obviously it was raining and whatever, but I didn't leave the Toge course.
Sick. Toge looks so good.
And I couldn't do Minami, so...
We rocked up for a day like last year, just went and checked it out. Just had to walk around, and man, the place just looks crazy, eh? Did go for a drive actually with Fausto. Yeah, it's such a cool place. I can't wait to go back. But man, it's getting expensive, eh? Everything's just gone kind of through the roof, as you'd expect with all the foreigners wanting to come over.
And that's Japanese cars. Prices are just stupid now, eh?
Yeah, that's it. I asked while I was there, I was like, can I just buy a car for a day? And he's like, look, we've got nothing for under kind of 13, 14 grand, and that's like just running type of thing. Like just drivable, which is nuts because I think back in the day you could kind of go pay like probably 3 or 4 grand. Yeah. Maybe, and grab yourself a car. And
I remember D1 cars being up for sale for like 30 to 40 grand.
Yeah.
They had like 3.4 2J with a freaking hole injury.
Yeah. Crazy.
And then I go and build the bloody Beamer. Yeah. So what are you doing, mate?
Miko Drift asks, what are the biggest difference in driving styles between Japanese and Australia driving that you noticed? If you can recall it.
Yeah, it's so hard to sort of say that because obviously Japanese, everyone's got different styles.
Yeah, for sure.
And then in Australia, everyone's got different styles. But like one thing that stood out massively was, to me, like just setting up the cars.
Yeah.
So the absolute minimum tyre pressure over there, when I was there, was like 2 bar.
So massive tyre pressures.
And I'm like,
that's nuts.
What the hell's going on here? You know, like, but they set the cars up so grippy that then there's just such a like big amount of room
that you can dial in and out with the tyre pressure.
Yeah, but they never went
down
low.
Yeah, crazy. What did it feel like when you were drifting it? Did it feel like you had not enough grip though? Or did
no. It was grippy as hell.
Yeah, crazy.
But it was mechanical grip.
Yeah.
It wasn't like it was loose.
Tires, yeah.
But if you buried it, it had that drive. You know, like it was.
Yeah.
It was. Yeah, it's kind of hard to look back on now because it's so freaking long ago. But
yeah, that's nuts.
But yeah, I did learn quite a lot over there.
Yeah. So someone asked, Charles asked, how do you get sponsors? But that's kind of a pretty broad question, I guess. And also, getting sponsors now versus getting sponsors back then is so different. Would be so different. Now it's wholly based on your reach, I think, and your kind of ability to produce content as well as drive, I think, is, you know what I mean? Versus back then, I think it would be more based on driving.
Yeah, so I don't know, man. I still haven't cracked the code on sponsorship. Yeah. Hey, like, as you can see, both our cars are plain.
Yeah. I mean, personally, I haven't even looked for sponsors. I don't know if that's something that people who aren't drifting at a certain level should even do, like, be looking for sponsors, really.
No, I don't think there's ever a time where, like, I don't think there's a moment where it's like, yep, I'm there now. I can get sponsors. Yeah. I think you can get them whenever you want. Sure, like, you just need to work for it. You know, like it's just like a job. Yeah. Like, you gotta, if you want someone to support you, you got to support them.
For sure, that's exactly right. Whereas a lot of people expect.
Yeah, like for instance, you've got a business. Yeah. If you want someone come to you and said, "Oh, I want you to sponsor," the first thing you're going to say is, "Well, what's in it for my business?"
We get a lot of people approaching us actually, especially recently, asking for sponsorship, and that is the first thing that you think is, what can we get out of it? Versus it's a two-way street for sure. And also, I think so that the world's just changed in terms of sponsorships as well.
Yeah. So that's why you'll see a lot of the time I do discount codes.
Yeah, yep,
Like that.
yep.
The main reason I do that
Mm,
is to honestly help, like, because it doesn't really help me at all.
yep,
Like, it's just to help the people that follow what I'm
yep.
doing, especially with that Davies Craig thing. That was like a 35% off
Which
a
is
water pump.
amazing, yeah.
It's
Yeah, it's
huge,
massive,
man.
especially because theirs is like their water pumps aren't cheap either.
Yeah,
Mm,
and that just helped everyone that in our
yeah,
community. It just worked really, really well.
yeah,
Um, so that's what I'm kind of looking at now.
yeah.
Like I've had some companies hit me up where they just want to chuck ads here, there, and everywhere, but it just doesn't fit what I'm doing.
Nah,
Like,
that's the same thing as well. It's like you saying yes to everything might not
yeah,
necessarily fit what you're trying to do and just going to make you look a little bit funky, especially with certain brands that may not work with your aesthetic or what you're putting out there. For
yeah,
sure.
definitely. And then you're going to lose people as
Yeah,
well, like that enjoy watching what you
yeah.
got. Like,
Because your
soon
your
as
your your reach has value as well, and you should always value that yourself. Like, you know what I mean. So you shouldn't just take
yeah,
everything that comes forward. Like, I've
definitely,
definitely had people approach me. I'd be like, nah, it's all good. Like, thanks, but no thanks type of thing. But it all comes, and then the biggest thing as well is building relationships. It's such a
yes,
big
yeah,
deal. Like, even at the moment, like I'm, trying to suss a couple of things out, and it's just about being willing to kind of take a little bit at the start, but and know that you're going to build that relationship up with them, and it's a long-term investment. In the long run, you're probably going to get more.
definitely.
Like you said, kind of building it up, building trust, like taking
Yeah,
that Yokohama deal with like the cheap
yeah,
set of first tires, but the end goal is obviously having tires coming in for free. You know what I mean?
yeah,
But you got to build it up. You can't expect that from nothing unless you're like top tier James Dean style.
yeah. But even still, man, like, it's for Yokohama, for instance,
Mm.
turn around one year and say, look, we just got no marketing
Yeah,
budget. Like, I'm
especially
sorry,
like
it's
right now, for example, you'd have that from a lot of businesses. That's the
yeah.
first
So
thing they'll
like,
cut. Is
and it's hard, man, because you can bust your ass for a year, and it will actually cost you money
yeah,
to advertise for them,
mm,
uh, in hope that they will come on board the next year with more support and whatever.
yeah,
And actually, and that did burn me out quite a lot.
yeah,
Like, I had a lot of companies, especially when I built that
yeah.
Beamer. Um, they're like, yeah, you get it running, and then we'll help support you to keep it running.
Oh, yeah,
Like,
yeah.
it's
That's nuts.
whether or not they did have a budget
Mm,
blowout or whatever, but pretty much as soon as that thing was built, man, a lot of those companies just like, oh, no, sorry, we got no budget.
yeah, that's the
I was
worst.
like, oh,
Um,
yeah.
keep it reet. Sup, keep it reet. Jason asked,
Hey,
have you driven in Japan since? I bumped into you at some random Tokyo Drift event in Tokyo, but don't think you were driving.
oh, I remember that. Oh, so that was after, I think that was a year or two after I actually drove there. And it was another trip where I went with Ian Baker. And
He's a dude. He's a good dude to know. He
yeah, man.
he.
And he knows
Yeah, it
everyone.
seems like it. I watched a podcast actually that he put up earlier today, and he just seems like that dude is fully hooked up, and obviously World Time Attack is like amazing as well. So
Yeah.
sorry, carry
Yeah.
on.
Yeah, and to answer his question real quick, I haven't driven in Japan
Yeah,
since I did D1. So
yeah,
it sucks because I haven't even ever done a Matsuri or
yeah.
anything.
I had money put aside this year. It's still put aside this year because I was gonna go, but obviously not happening. So I just
Yeah.
put that aside for 2021 or whatever. But that's crazy. Dylan Rastrick said, "How about that $1,000 SR20 plus TS18?" Oh, he's asking me that, right? Yeah. One time I got in a little bit of money trouble, so I sold my friend an S13 with an SR20D plus T in it for $1,000.
And your mate Dylan decided to remind you that.
Just then, yeah. Thanks, Dill.
Wow,
I appreciate it.
yeah, good work, Dylan.
Nah, he's a bad dude. He's got a very cool S13 as well. Paul Tomlin said, "What's the new car?"
Oh, the new car. Should I just reveal it on this channel? That'd be
I
exciting.
feel like that wouldn't. You don't have to do that, man. But can we have a hint though? Because I'm interested as well.
Well, it's similar to what I've already got.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. And it's obviously a future build thing, or a
Yeah.
YouTube channel build.
Yeah, pretty much.
Me.
Like, that was my goal, to build a car from scratch again.
Yep.
And more or less, if anything happened to the Sony, just move everything
For
over.
sure. Yeah. Aren't you building RB30 as well?
Yes, yep.
Cool.
But I don't want to use it
Oh yeah.
because I don't rev enough.
Yeah. That's what I hear. Although they fetch a fair penny in America. I know there are a lot of people looking for the RB30 stuff at the moment. It's crazy. Goes for massive money over there. We should just get a shipping container full of RB30s and send them over.
We'd probably make a lot of money.
Yeah, that stuff's gold. Cast iron gold. By the way, Snap-on, that's a mad deal.
Yes. Yeah.
How good's that? Yeah.
Good eggs.
That is insane. They're massive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that is that's another prime example of an amazing company that's come on board, wanted to partner with me and get exposure in the drifting community.
Yeah.
So this is a big test for me. Yeah. Big test.
Fits well in the Squid Shack as well. That place looks freaking sick.
Yeah, it has come up well, man. I've got real lucky there because I'm actually renting it. So.
Oh yeah, great. It looks good, man.
Yeah.
What are the plans for it? Hoist?
I don't really want to go with a hoist because, like, as much as I'd love a hoist, I'd rather do everything on the ground because it replicates doing that at the track. I know that seems stupid.
No, for sure. And people can relate to it a lot more as well via kind of the YouTube stuff.
Yeah.
When you're ragtagging it on the ground like they are. Man. I have a hoist and I find myself doing most of the things on the ground at the factory anyway. It's weird. I'm like, why am I doing this? This is gnarly.
Don't you have like 2 hoists here?
Nah, just one. I need to get another one. But that's for another day. Let's talk about RBM3.
Yep.
Mad. I mean, maybe let's talk about the dedication as well, because they kind of go hand in hand. I mean, you've probably gone deeper than anyone in Australia to chase the dream, the drifting dream, I guess, that maybe we're all trying to chase. I don't know. Like, it's gnarly. Talk to us about it. Obviously, it's a massive investment for you. Has it paid off? Is it paying off? Are you still chasing that dream? Are you still as passionate about that as you once were?
Yeah, so long story completely short, I wanted to do FD USA.
Which you still want to do, surely.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, man, I'd love to.
Yep.
So I thought, okay, what I need is a car that can do it,
Yep.
a license so I can actually get over there and compete.
Which you got, right?
Yeah, which I did get successfully in 2017 when I won the China Championship. And then, the last thing was I just need the money.
Yep, which is always the last thing and the most difficult thing, I guess. So your car's built to FD specs?
Yep.
Crazy, yeah. I mean, it's not really that crazy. That thing's freaking amazing, but how many years did it take to build?
3, I think it was 2015. 3 years.
Gnarly.
3 years, and I took a massive backseat on driving.
Yeah, obviously to commit. Yeah. That's mental.
Yeah, and then I had so much help from like Power Tune just with man hours on that thing. You know, like Chia, he's helped me out so much with because he's exactly like me, man. Like so passionate about his whole life and his whole business, and he could just see me being so passionate with what I wanted to do.
Yeah. He just came on board because it's just kind of
like
vested interest.
Yeah, it was like when you hang around people that are like-minded, that just help grow you.
Yeah, that's why I've got Jordan coming to the shop to help me. It's just more about having someone around that's like-minded because, man, it just makes you work so much, faster, better. It's much more enjoyable to be around as well. It's so good.
Yeah, definitely, man. And like we've been through some highs and lows with that damn car, man. But yeah, overall, we've created like a unreal friendship, and like even to this day, he still messages me like, anything happening, like, is there any progress or whatever?
Yeah,
because he still wants me to successfully achieve that goal, But
and now you've got that car, like that thing is like. If you guys haven't seen it before, by the way, make sure you get to any event that you can around Australia to check it out. It's freaking nuts. I just stood staring at that thing when we were at Motor X. It's just nuts. Like every aspect of it, every little inch of it is crazy. What's the goal? At the moment with that thing? Obviously, it sits in the corner of the Squid Shack. you're going to do, like, once COVID-19 goes away, exhibitions and stuff like that, and kind of get out there with it again?
Yeah, definitely. Like, it's, sitting there doing nothing is an absolute waste of money.
Yeah, for sure.
You know that, I know that.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to try and kid anyone. It's it needs to be doing something.
Yeah. It's also a nice piece of motivation, though, to walk out. Like, I love walking into the shed and seeing my cars and just being like, one day I'm going to use you. Even now, I look at my car, I'm like, one day, whenever this COVID stuff goes away, I will drive you.
But yeah, like, the Dream Big video.
Oh, man, I wanted to talk about that next as well.
Yeah, so that was, that's been a massive dream as well.
Yeah.
So that was like a huge goal ticked off.
Yeah.
But it also created a massive, and a new bunch of friends and friendships.
Yeah.
With Brad Day and his whole crew.
Yeah.
And,
those dudes are just so freaking talented. Oh my God.
man, it's ridiculous how good they are for their age.
Yeah.
Brad's like 22.
Crazy, really?
Yeah.
So young. That's insane.
And I'm like, hey, where did you learn all this? And
Where's
he won an award in London last year.
Is that all like is it his business or something, the gear, or?
So I think a couple of the cameras in that are,
Yep.
but then he hires them,
Yeah.
and then his mates bring some over. Like,
Yep.
man, there was like 4 red
Yeah.
digital
I saw
cameras that
I saw
day.
LZ just bought one literally for his channel, a red, which is freaking nuts.
Really?
Nuts, bro. His media dude.
There's 60K.
Yeah. Don't even talk to me about that. That's insane. What a dude. But yeah, those cameras are worth a butt ton of money, huh? So to have
Surely
them,
he didn't buy that for YouTube. Like, there's no point going above 1080p, is there?
I don't know. I guess if you can flex that hard, you can flex that hard. But at the same, he's got a full-time media dude, like, who's living at his house and doing his stuff. So I assume they just want to go next level on it.
Holy
Movie star
crap.
stuff, which is crazy. But yeah, that Dream Big. I was stoked that Hoonigan picked it up as well, and man, it got some good exposure and stuff. It was gnarly.
Yeah, it was good, man.
Yeah.
I just want to do another one now.
Yeah, you've got to level up now. You can't kind of go backwards on that,
Yeah.
which is crazy. And obviously someone like Mad Mike is someone that you kind of look up to a bit as well in terms of the inspiration kind of. I obviously likened it to maybe a bit like the Crown Range and the RX-7, that first video that he
like,
did.
obviously everything Mike's done is freaking next level,
Yeah. Yeah.
But when I caught up with Brad,
Yeah.
and we went over like how we're going to film it,
Yeah.
I actually never said like I wanted to do anything similar to what Mike's done.
Yeah.
I just said all I want, like, these are my simple rules. I said I don't want music
Yeah.
because that's what the car's for.
Absolutely.
I don't want any slow-mo
Yeah.
because I hate that.
Yeah.
And I don't want any special effects.
Sweet. Yeah. Just raw. Absolutely
Just
raw.
raw.
Yeah.
Like, just raw.
They come up exactly like that as well. So good.
Yeah, like let like make all the pressure on my driving.
Yeah.
Create the content.
It would looked like the some of the corners are super long. Like you were like full up it.
And thankfully that thing revs so much that
100%. I was watching again the other day and I was just like, yeah, you were going pretty hard with that.
Yeah, and then you get your classic, oh, it took you so many takes or whatever. But
yeah. Oh man.
It actually didn't though. This is the funny thing. So the whole first section, right, was all one take and there's only one set of marks.
Yeah.
And I said that has to be the whole first section where I come around the mountainside and it's just bellowing smoke everywhere.
Yeah.
I said that has to be one take. So like, I know the pressure's on me, but all the cameras have got to be set up, and please don't mess this up because this needs to be one take. And then the rest was it was like 6 or 7 runs because the first run we had to do cameras on the corner.
Yeah.
And Brad's number one rule is he'll never have another camera in a picture.
Yeah, in the shot. Yeah.
Yeah. So so cameras on. I think we had 3 corners.
Yeah.
So I did a run, and then we moved the cameras to the next 3 corners.
Yeah.
Do a run, and then we have the chase car behind me. We do a run and get rid of the other cameras.
Yeah.
And then we have the chase car in front of me, and then we do a run, and then and then we have the cameras on the car, do a run, and then we have the drones and no cameras on the car, do a run, and then there was like I think it was 6 or 7 runs that we had to do minimum
to get the shots.
Yeah, and I think there was only enough time for me to do one run with the FPV at the end of the day.
Yeah.
which is what I've been putting in all my intros
Looks
lately.
so good. Those dudes are gnarly. How was it with tires?
It was actually pretty good, but I went through every single tire I took.
Yeah.
I think I took 5 pairs.
Yeah.
And
Because it looked like it was
yeah.
just smashing the smoke out.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
And Brad actually pulled me up after the first couple of runs. He said, "Can you just like bring the smoke down a little bit? Because when we're chasing you, it's just
too much.
You can't see anything."
Yeah. It'll be so hard to chase that for sure.
So that's when like there's a few moments where I'm just smashing limiter in second, and I was just trying to bring the road speed down a bit.
And it sounds good as well, so there's nothing wrong with that.
Oh, the audio was insane. We had microphones set up everywhere in the car.
Awesome.
It was freaking nuts. And
tops.
That actually almost turned into a massive disaster too. So I took it out to Malala. This Malala thing is cursing me.
now that I think about it, every time I'm talking about breaking my car, it's at Malala.
So I went out to Malala on the Saturday night, and we were filming on the Monday.
Yeah.
But no one knew. Like, it was all top secret. So Saturday night, at Malala, and the car just all of a sudden started having all these electrical faults. Like, just so random. The thing was like, the indicators were coming on, the headlights were flashing, and then it would just cut out when it's sitting there idling. I'm like, what the hell is going? It's never played up, and just before the biggest moment of its freaking life, it's just shutting down on me. So nutted it down to potentially being the smart wire. It's like the little PDM that controls all the output everywhere.
Yeah.
So I hit up Brad's old man owns oh god, I should know this. The Subaru shop in Adelaide.
Oh, so they're like a motorsport. He knows motorsport.
Yeah. So his son Brad Day does.
Yeah.
He used to do like the V8 Dunlop series and
sick.
GT. Yeah. So they're like heavily involved in motorsport.
Yeah.
So we asked him, is there any chance we can get a race pack in from somewhere like a Smart Wire? So he hit up Howtech, and they expressed one on the Sunday with toll or something.
Wow.
And it cost me like $400 just in shipping, because they literally delivered it to us at his shop.
Yeah.
And I still didn't know to this point if
it was
that was going to fix
you just
the
took
problem.
a chance. That's crazy.
Yeah. And the unit did cost me like $3,500.
I was going to say, did you have to buy the new unit as well?
Yep.
Dude.
But I had invested so much into that video.
Yeah.
I didn't care. I'm just like, whatever. Yeah. And then, plugged it in the night before we were taking the car down, like, to do the shoot. And, plugged it in, started it up, and it was all good. I'm like, oh, my God, this is so good.
It's the worst, though. $3,500 part, just carking it. Did you ever find out what it was, or was that just that?
No, I sent it off to Howtech, and it took, like, 6 to 9 months. I only got it back like a couple of months ago.
Oh, yeah. So they fixed it.
And they said it was water damage.
Oh, crazy.
But I don't know how, because there's never ever been any water inside that car.
Yeah. Yeah. Couldn't imagine so, That's weird. Maybe just super bad luck somehow.
Yeah, it must have been.
So what was the idea behind that shoot? Obviously, other than having a gangster video, was it just like, because obviously it was a dream of yours to drive that road, do a video like that, or was there a bit more behind it in terms of actually pushing to kind of get exposure, reach, YouTube channel, maybe potential sponsorships or people, you know what I mean? Or just to...
Yeah, it's like the overall goal was, it was a massive dream of mine. Brad wanted to be involved because he knew he would get more work from it. And no joke, he's been flat stick ever since. Like, I had emails coming in, people saying how awesome the video was, can we have Brad's details?
Perfect.
And I was like, every time I got an email, I'm like, oh, this could be a potential sponsor. Oh, no, they just want Brad. But it was awesome because it's made his business boom. Now he wants to help me more.
Perfect.
And it's, but he's been so busy, man, and all the COVID stuff. But the overall goal was obviously exposure. I wanted to showcase to my current sponsors at the time, and also future sponsors, what I'm able to do on my own budget. And look what we can do with just my budget.
Imagine what we could do with both of us. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
that's so good. And that's the thing, you have to be willing to put yourself forward and like take a chance. I reckon for sure. What's what's your thoughts on competitions and stuff? Obviously, you've just done the South Australian drift competition, which me and Jason actually were hoping to be at so much. But obviously, the COVID restrictions came in, so we couldn't make it. We were really hoping to compete, but you came second in the summer.
Yeah, again, man.
By the way, sorry.
It's like my 6th second.
RB25 stock Neo.
Yep.
How much power are you pushing through that?
It's like 26 pounds now, and it's making like 420 kilowatts.
Sorry, sweet. Carry on about what you're saying, because I just remembered that I wanted to ask you that from the last video I was watching. So
yeah, it's stupid. It's stupid. Like the compression on cylinders 1, 2, and 3 is down to like 60 psi, and it's just still
ripping,
hauling ass. Like it takes ages to start the car now. But as soon as it gets above 5,000 RPM,
just rips,
yeah.
That's so good. That's like a very expensive budget build, in a weird way.
Yes.
That's freaking mad. And then you went the five one more times with what's his name? Scott Mitchell?
Scott Miller.
No,
Scott Miller. Yeah, the goat. He's so good.
His car seems dialed as.
It's just a 1J. I shouldn't say just, because it's an amazing car. Like it's 1J. I think he's got like a TD06 on it.
Yeah.
PPG dog box and GDR rear end, and then obviously running the P-knuckle, and same as most of us are, and it just
looks like it
works,
just goes.
man. It's so
crazy.
Yeah.
And then obviously, so like Australia, because I always think about this, but it's a bit of a shame actually. There's nothing. What is there to aim for in Australia in terms of like competitions? I mean, because I'm always thinking about this. It would be great if we had like a D1NZ National Series kind of here in Australia to aim for. There's high tech, of course. And then obviously there's all the state series, DCA, Vic Drift, Keep It Reap Battle Royale, which when you were there was this freaking sick night.
Yeah, that was, man.
The battles were just freaking insane. Are you going to keep doing kind of as many competitions as you can, or are you more focused on the bigger goal, which is, although you need to keep seat time going, don't you? You need to keep driving otherwise.
Yeah. That's where I feel I may have gone backwards a bit with the Beamer, because like I focused so much on building the Beamer, I just stopped driving, and I kind of got comfortable with it, which I didn't like. But I'd just like you, I'd love to do every single event I could.
Yeah, for sure.
If I could go away every single weekend, I'd be doing it.
It's just not a feasible thing.
We don't have the money, man. Like it's just.
I don't think anyone has the money. That's the problem. That's so hard.
Well, no, in saying that, right, there's plenty of people that do have the money. They don't have the motivation.
Yeah, it's like that triangle. Like, you know how you have the triangle? It's like you can have two. You can pick two, but you can't have all three. We've got like the passion and like the skills, but not the money. And then someone's got the money and like the skills, but not the passion and stuff like that. That's pretty much where it's at, eh?
Because I've had opportunities. I could have done a full season in D1 in Japan, but I didn't have the money. I had the contacts, had the car, had the license, had everything. Just didn't have the money. I had the opportunity to do FD USA, but didn't have the money. Like I don't know. And then, man, I've even gone down the path of getting managers. And
I saw that, just kind of saying.
Oh, I really don't want to talk about that.
You know what? Yeah. Well, you're going to partner up later on and talk about some digital marketing stuff. By the way, people have asked, what do we do for a day job?
Electrician. Sorry. Oh, I did see that. Yeah.
Yeah. And digital marketing dude for me, working with a bunch of different companies. And then, own my business, Two Step Garage as well, which is mad. Let's talk about your merchandise for a second. Because it's behind you.
Yeah, I'm struggling.
It looks like you got heaps behind you.
Yeah, and none of it's online.
Oh, okay, sweet. So I shouldn't tell people to go buy it.
Nah, I try to take on everything myself, and it's a massive, massive problem I have. I never ask.
It's really hard to let things go as well. Like trust other people with stuff. I had that issue as well.
So I've just changed from Big Cartel to Shopify.
Yeah, we run on Shopify. It's really good. Yeah.
I've made an absolute meal of it. So
just gotta spend a Saturday or Sunday getting it all up online. When it is up online, everyone go buy it, including myself. Needs some Squid merch for sure. 100%. But crazy. Favorite series to watch? Drift series.
Man, I love bloody Dwayne
Oh,
McKeever, eh?
so good. Yeah.
Yeah, just his, lack of mechanical
Yep.
sympathy.
Yeah. I saw that like last round BDC the other weekend. He was just absolutely foot to the floor hammering that limiter. That's ridiculous.
Yeah,
But
I can relate way
yeah,
too much.
100%. I mean,
Yeah,
the British and Irish Drift Championships are personally my favourites to watch as well. I love what David
yeah,
Egan did with the British and Irish Drift Championships and Drift Masters. The dudes are freaking insane when it comes to marketing. But also what they can do with like a car park, and
yeah,
it's so crazy. And then I think that's why they have the best kind of tandem in the world, I reckon.
yeah,
That's so
definitely,
good. And then people
definitely.
like James Dean, Dwayne McKeever, Jack Shanahan, Connor Shanahan kind of come out of the country, coming from car parks and small kind of. They're always running tight tandem, so they're always door on
Yeah,
door, and they always have layouts where if you've got 300 kilowatt or 600 kilowatt, generally speaking, you've still got a competitive. You know what I mean? You can still be competitive, and it's so fun to watch.
yeah.
It's freaking animal. And then the marketing sides of things is always crowds. They're always G'd up.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
it's always raining, but they don't care. It's gnarly, eh? So, and that to me means, like, when I look at that, it convinces me that Australia could easily, because there's enough people here to be passionate about, to want to go to drift events. I think with the right marketing and stuff, there could be a cool series here for sure.
Yeah, definitely, man. Like, I think the whole keep it read
Yep,
things,
that's
that's
gnarly. Yeah,
booming, man.
it's
Like,
good.
that event I went to, there's freaking
Yeah,
people
yeah,
everywhere.
that's it. That's just the right equation of marketing and passion, and just a freaking cool event. Like this Friday night drift
Yeah,
events as well, absolutely sick. A bunch of people watching now can attribute to that because they're all drivers and they're all freaking nuts. But it's
yeah.
crazy the trains and stuff that go on there as well. But it's so good. By the way, J Scott Drift says RTR build Chelsea and Vaughan's pro cars completely off jack stands for the same reason that you aren't getting a hoist. So there you go.
Oh,
Yeah,
do they?
crazy. Because they just want to
Yeah,
be
right.
used to working on the ground when it comes to actual competition, which makes sense.
Well, I actually learnt it from the Kelly brothers, like
Yep.
the V8
Yeah.
racing team. So I did an academy there through CAMS, and I noticed there was no hoist
Yeah.
there. And they do everything on those little like 400 kilo trolley, the big
Yeah.
table
Yep.
jack things. So they just set it up so the engines sit on that, and they just roll them
Sick.
straight in, bolt them up. It's on the,
Yeah.
like, and then also, yeah, just I don't know, just
It
makes
does make
sense,
sense. Eh? It's good. I mean,
just hurts the back.
dude, like there's some days I'm just so stoked. Yeah, it's crazy. Best bang for buck chassis to start drifting in.
It'd almost have to be some sort of BMW
Yeah,
now,
hundred
wouldn't it?
percent. Especially, I reckon the last like 6 months, I've just noticed all the Sylvias, all the
Like,
Skylines, everything is just boomed in price.
yeah, like it's just stupid, man. Like
Gnarly.
it's like the go-to thing was every time a kid messaged me or whatever and asked me, I'd be like, yeah, an S
Yeah,
chassis, man, or whatever you can get your hands on that's rear-wheel drive and just go have
yeah.
some fun. Like,
It's getting scarce now, huh?
but now it's
Yeah, and I've noticed even the BMWs are starting to creep up in price as well. Everywhere else in the world, they've gotten super expensive. Like half the field in like in America, no matter what event you go to, will be E36s now. They've all just with V8s in them and stuff
Mhm.
because they boomed over there pretty quickly. And but definitely still now, I think like a BMW chassis. E46 is super cheap, $1,000, and you'd have yourself a car that drives that you can lock the diff in and go drifting. So fun as well. But my problem is doing stupid things like putting turbos on them. So bad.
or 13 Bs in
Dude,
them.
that thing's going to be gnarly though. I'm painting it tomorrow. Have you ever painted a car?
No,
Nah, neither.
no, no, I don't think I
Like the
have.
last day of lockdown, when it was lockdown was starting, I was like, threw my toys out of my cot and just went and bought a compressor, a spray gun, all the paint, all the clear. I was like, I'm going to do it. I don't care. So, makes for good content, so whatever. It
Jesus.
is what it is.
What Why don't you just wrap it like you did with
Oh,
the?
because I kind of have already done that. So I did have some wrap available as well. So I could have, but then I was like, people want to see an idiot try and spray a car. Like, that's what people want to see. And it's going to be, yeah. I've got a friend who paints cars like Porsches and Ferraris in New Zealand, and he's going to be on a video call kind of walking me through it. I don't think it's going to...
Oh, dude, you're laughing.
It'll be alright,
You'll be sweet.
The candy red on the Sunvia, frickin' insane.
Yeah. Dude, that was...
Such a ballsy choice.
So, I know. Like, Born Again restorations, they helped me out so much with that. So they're like, look, man, we're happy to paint it. Just get us the paint. And I'm like, I originally was going to go white.
Which is smart,
Yeah, and I had a sponsor at the time that I was just going to go white and chuck that on and it was be done. And then I'm like, I went into his shop and he's like, oh, check out all these paints.
It's so bad when they show you the colours, because that's what I did. He's like, here's a book. And I was like, crap.
And he showed me the DNA paints. They're all candy. They're all candy.
The DNA stuff's sick.
Don't show me.
It's so good. Made here in Melbourne as well. Yep.
Yeah. And I'm like, he knew I wanted the Mazda red. But he didn't want to do it because it's like a 3-layer pearl.
Yeah, it's insane colour though. I love that Mazda red.
So that's what I wanted, and I found one that looked the same in this DNA book, and I'm like,
it looks freaking good. Like, it come up real nice, easily as.
But now I'm out of paint.
So you can't pay anything more.
So, well, I can if I want to spend another $2,000 on paint.
It's nuts, eh? I did look at the DNA stuff, but I was like, man, that's definitely expensive. And they were like, it's pretty hard to spray. And have you done it before? And I was like, nah, like, don't do this. I should have, but it is what it is. But that's the thing about the wrap as well. It's like, I bust a panel, or I bust the rear end, I just put another rear end on it and just wrap it again. Yep. And it's always comes out the exact same. Like, you know what I mean? Whereas spraying, you can always muck it up or whatever. But Robert Corcoran, shout out Rob, what's up my dude? He asks, how did you both get up the courage to put up your first YouTube videos, and what was the goal with the videos?
This is an easy one, but you go first.
Oh man, should I? Because my first YouTube video was not on this channel, and it is hilarious. Really? I was in a boy band. Straight up. So I was at a skate park with my friend, and I was like, man, have you seen people do like covers and stuff on YouTube? And he's like, yep. And I was like, do you want to do one? Because we both played music in bands. And he's like, yep, sweet. So we went home and did like an acoustic cover of One Direction, What Makes You Beautiful. And then we weren't really a boy band. We were way cooler than that. And so we did that, but we didn't actually know who sung the song. We just heard it on the radio, and we're like, that sounds like a song we could do. And so we did it. And then just before we put it up on YouTube, we like watched the actual video clip of who sung the song. And I was like, oh, bro, this is bad. These guys are young dudes in a boy band. People are going to roast us. And he's like, and we were like super scared. And then he's like, whatever, and just hit the enter button, uploaded it, like, whatever. Ended up going viral. Oh, really? Yeah. Ended up, like, it went viral, like 2.5 million views or something. And then we ended up doing more and more videos. And then we ended up getting signed in America. Lived in America for like 3 months. Was signed, like, all this stuff, like, all on the back of this. Went to like #1 in New Zealand on the radio and stuff like that. This is all my old life. This is my old life.
This is
so if you guys ever want to, you know what? I'll post the link in my community tab. But Rachel, who's watching this right now, is actually an old fan of the band, so she knows what's up. But that was my first YouTube video.
Oh, dude,
and we
amazing.
were scared as hell to post it. I'm pretty sure anyone who puts anything up of themselves on any form of social media, I guess if you're talking to a camera, it's so scary. Or singing to a camera, which is even worse. But, you know, even to this day, I'm always criticizing myself in my YouTube videos. So,
that's a given.
Yeah. Like, so I choose not to watch. That's what I do. Other than when I'm editing it, I just try not to watch my stuff. But, and I guess the end goal is just to be able to drift and not work. And saying that, everything's work. I mean, if you vlog, or if you know anything about vlogging, then you freaking know it's so much work. I'm only doing a video a week at the moment, and I'm putting everything I have into that. So much money into it. I put all my time into it. Sorry, Tara, my girlfriend, because she doesn't get much attention from me. Like, it's freaking gnarly just to get that video up in the hope. So even if when you say, oh, it's to kind of not work, it's more to not have a boss and work as a day job. But vlogging is so much work. It's crazy.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. Like, I can't really top that. That's freaking incredible. Like, your first video gets 2.5 million freaking views, and you sign a contract in America, man. Jesus Christ.
That's luck. That's what that is.
No, but that's exactly why you do it.
100%.
Like, that is a perfect example of why. I can't remember who it was. Is it Robert?
Yeah, Rob.
Yeah, Rob, man, you just need to get him out. Like, I don't even know what my first one was, but I know my first, 10, 20 videos I did, I never showed my face. It was all just driving. And everything I did from the beginning, I did as a blog, not a vlog. So I'd type it out, what happened each day, and then put a few pictures in. Man, if I started, I started that in 2008. If I started doing YouTube then...
You're in the money.
Oh, mate. Massive stuff up. So use my stuff up as motivation to just start doing it. Because I still look back on what I was doing on those blogs in 2008 and 9. And I'm like, man, that was so good. It's memories too. Like, I always look back on old stuff, and if someone mentions something about China or whatever, I'll be like,
go back and look hard. Yeah, that's so good.
Yeah, I filmed like what I ate that day, and it was disgusting. And
so good. That's exactly right. It's memories, huh? And then you can go back and you'll always be able to look on it. One thing I probably would say as well is if you're looking at starting YouTube, first of all, what Jake said, frickin' do it yesterday. Like, just get it up there. But your intentions should always just be to enjoy it, because if you don't, I tell you what, like if your goal is just to be at MLZ or something and just get the money or whatever and the fame, there's every chance that it may not work out and it won't really shine through in your videos. Whereas if you do it just to enjoy it, have fun, it will always shine through. Like it becomes more authentic as well. So that's why, like, obviously we have goals and stuff, and that's what we want, but at the end of the day, you really have to enjoy. I freaking love vlogging. Like, when I put a video up at the end of the week, it makes me feel fulfilled. You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, sweet, I've done it. And when I don't, I get so antsy. I'm like, I need to get a video up. I need to do something. Like, it's freaking cool, man. I love it. And then interacting with everyone as well. That's my favorite thing, just to see the comments come through. You get having the worst day, and then you see those comments, and you just like, boom, like, feel so much more invigorated or whatever. Like, it just helps. You know what I mean? Get you through some stuff, and it motivates you to go push forward and spend that freaking next $10,000 you need to spend to do the next thing, the build or whatever. Because, like, you end up with an RX-8 in your freaking front yard and a freaking half cut E36, and sometimes you question what the frick you're doing with your life.
The best example is like when you post up those messages that people send you. I've noticed you've been doing it heaps lately. Oh, well, obviously you're getting a lot of them. Where dudes are like, man, I needed that video. Like, thanks heaps.
That's right.
And me seeing that from you sharing it's like, damn, that's why we do this. Like, this is so good.
It's literally like, and you don't think about that at all. But like, people are literally taking that in and kind of being like, this helped me, and they find the hobby themselves. I know, I'm sorry, by the way, to everyone who I've made do this, but people who have gone out and bought E36s for themselves and put turbos on them or whatever, but that's freaking sick to see. You know what I mean? Like, it's so good. And then it's an endless, ruthless circle, because you do that and then you encourage someone else to do that. And that's how drifting grows, which is mad. That's why it's the fastest growing motorsport in the world. It's so good, dude. Speaking of, I personally, like, do you watch any other form of motorsport? I've been watching that. So I watched Drive to Survive Formula 1 on Netflix, the documentary.
So good.
Holy crap. And now I like don't miss anything about Formula 1. I watch all the races, and before that I hardly ever watched. I'm such a bandwagon fan, but it's literally made me want to raise my level of professionalism so much now. You know what I mean? After watching, I'm like, the level of professionalism in that sport is insane. It's crazy, and the money they talk about, I'm like, yo, Formula Drift is nothing compared to you know what I mean, like Formula One, like still a baby. The money they spend is freaking crazy.
It
Absolute
is, man.
gold.
It's like, and drivers like dropping a team for €4 million a year to go and get 14 million. I'm like,
Yeah,
you guys,
it's freaking nuts. But I take a lot of inspiration though from just watching that stuff. It's so good. Daniel Ricciardo, what a legend, eh?
yeah,
It's so good. Yeah.
yeah. Have you watched season 1 and 2?
Yeah, I'm gutted about 2020 because, I mean, I guess they'll still have a season. I've been watching all the races. So weird with no people, but still awesome to watch.
It's Formula One's just a
different animal, eh?
It's stupid, man. Like, do you see the latest thing? The Racing Point got fined €400,000
for copying, huh?
Well, they didn't copy. They just Mercedes sent him a CAD drawing and they accepted it.
That's pretty gnarly, eh? There's so much little squabbles that go on, but that's the drama, and that's the thing though. That's what I reckon. A lot of even like FD, a lot of it needs drama. As much as I want to see everyone being like buddy and stuff like that, I want to see what goes on behind the scenes because you know that stuff does, and that's what gets you invested in it. When you're emotionally invested, you're like, this is mint. Like, you know, the team bosses having a go at each other and all that type of stuff in F1. You're like, nice.
Like when was it Grosjean who smashed the windows?
Yeah.
Like cracked the shits with his boss at Haas. And,
how good? I'd be pretty annoyed if I was him as well at the moment. What up, Mez? By the way, welcome to the chats. Keep it real. Jason asks, what gives you your motivation to keep pushing, Jake?
Ooh,
big question.
Yeah, that is a big one. Motivation's been an absolute killer for me in 2020. Now, a lot of stuff's been going on, and I'm not going to dive into all of it, but one thing that I actually wasn't going to go public with this, but I actually got a virus.
Crazy.
So it's called Epstein-Barr virus. Now, I don't know, it's a weird freaking thing, but it's with you for life. You can't get rid of it. You can only control it. Long story short, it gives you chronic fatigue.
That's rough, eh? Damn.
Yeah. Like, it is what it is. But, so all you can do is have, like, a balanced diet and just not have things that trigger it. So it basically attacks your liver. And if you eat or drink bad stuff, it'll help it fire up. And then, you know,
Crazy.
You can have days where you're just bedridden, you know. And we all get this. It's like I don't know. I was going to make it public and, you know,
and so
do the whole...
What's the deal? So how are you dealing with it? And are you, obviously which is not a bad thing really, your diet and stuff, you're having to watch and make sure that that's tip-top. Does it affect your energy into, obviously, like going out to the garage, for example, and working on stuff? Like,
hell yeah, man.
Because I've noticed, obviously, there's been a drop-off of Jake Jones stuff lately, so...
Yeah. And, you know, come with that, you don't know. It's taken ages for me to find out that that's exactly what I had. You know, like you go to a doctor and they're like, nah, you're all good. You get blood tests. They say, you know, your white blood cell count's low, whatever. But you're sweet. Off you go, you know. Went through a few doctors, went to a naturopath. Because I knew there wasn't something right. And then you start questioning yourself. You think it's your mental health and all that and rada.
And you always seem like a super upbeat, to me, like a super freaking pretty much similar to me, just always going. Yeah.
But just like all of us, man, we have our down days, you know. And that's something that I didn't want to like cover up.
That's what I was hoping we'd touch on this anyway, because it's so funny. Like all you see is all the good side of things of everyone, which is gnarly because it's not how it is. I mean, frick. No. Everyone goes through, I'm sure, the same stuff. You know what I mean? And people look at us and probably go, man, how do they just always ride you out? But not always. Yeah, the freaking days like where I'm just like, I do not want to, and it sounds like stupid, but you know, I don't want to get up. I don't want to go to the factory. I don't want to do this. I don't want to freaking do that. But that's, you know, it's obviously everyone goes through that stuff. It's a part of life, especially with the coronavirus, man. Like, I thrive on energy from other people.
Well, that's why I hit you up, bro. And I'm like, man, he'd be struggling like lockdown. I'm like, man, if you want to have a chat,
which I
just hit me
freaking
up.
appreciate, bro, because this has been awesome. I can't believe we're an hour and 40 minutes into this chat. It seems like we've been here for 20 minutes. Yeah,
really?
which is gnarly. Yeah.
Oh, it hasn't felt like that.
It's crazy. That's it. It's like, yeah, and it's. I mean, I don't even want to talk about the coronavirus at all because it's everywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, no, not your fault. Just in general. I mean, it's everywhere you look. But the biggest thing is, just not seeing people. I love being around people. It's crazy. So like, even right now, I can only go to the factory by myself, and I'm like, have to put a podcast or something on to feel like at least there are other people in the room or something. Because I literally only do this so I can hang out with like my mates and stuff. That's a big reason for why I like build cars and go drift events and stuff. Because like the drifting community is the awesomest stuff. Like Mount Gambier and stuff last year, amazing. Like just being around everyone is so sick. And so I kind of it's the same as reason I was in bands. I had no, and that's why I've not gone solo or whatever. Because I just have no interest in being by myself, like doing that stuff. It's always I just wanted to tour and get freaking drunk with my friends, like you know what I mean. And it's the same like now. I just want to build cars and talk shit with my friends. It's the best. It's so good. But back to what keeps you motivated. What does keep you motivated?
So just on that whole thing, there's a really good documentary. Emil Johansson, he's a mountain bike rider, like downhill mountain bike rider.
I'm gonna write this down.
And he's sponsored by Red Bull. So he's got the same thing, and they do a full documentary on how he's tackling it. But it's everyone gets it differently or whatever, and he's, you just got to accept it's with you forever, and you've just got to sort of look after it. But anyway, that's me. That's all good. But staying motivated, I guess. I suppose it's you got your goals, you want to tick them off
for sure, 100%.
And soon as you achieve the first one, like one thing you got to keep very sure is never just keep it at one. Like always make sure there's more after. No matter how big they are, because as soon as you tick the first one off, you're like, okay, that's I did it. Like that's done. What's next? You 100%. Don't want to get to that what's next and not know what's next sort of thing, if that makes sense. So, just have goals and just got to freaking work towards smashing them. But
success is funny. It's a mirage, right? Like if I think about all of the things that I wanted maybe 5 years ago, that passed. I've got them, but I'm already focused on the next thing. Like you are always pushing, and that's the best thing. I guess the best thing about the sport that we're chasing is there's not an age limit really on it compared to something like F1. Whereas when they get to like maybe, I don't know, what is it, like 34 or whatever, they start to kind of fade out. Their reactions are slow or whatever. Whereas with drifting, you can be 40, 45 and still push hard. It's like, I'm probably going to be 60 with a friggin' walking frame and then get in my car and still drive.
Well, look at Noikin. I think he's like in his 50s, man, and he's still kicking.
Yeah, I think that there are a couple of older dudes even in FD as well. The dude with the Ferraris, I think he's older, like 40-something. Yeah, right. Which, by the way, drifting a Ferrari, gnarly. But, that's nuts, eh? So at least we're chasing a dream that's still achievable even if we get there at the age of 50.
Yeah, that's true, man. That's
Do you play simulator racing or anything at all? Drift sim?
Nah, I don't. I've been getting asked heaps lately because there's obviously guys out there with the name Drift Squid or
there
Squid
is.
or
I was
something
drifting with one the other day. Yeah, on the Seto course, and I was like, really? But I was like, nah, he wouldn't be driving. I can't remember what he was driving, but I was like, no, it won't be Jake. I think it was just driving like a Holden or something. I was like,
oh yeah, no, that would not be me. Jesus. But yeah, I get asked all the time. It's not me, guys. It's I wish I had a sim, but it's just another thing where it's like I'd just rather invest the money
in the right places.
Into the cars.
Yeah, I've got one, but I'll tell you what, it's helped me a lot. It's so good. Like,
yeah, I should. Yeah, it would help, wouldn't it?
It's more just for the reactions and stuff like that. But God, it's like a Seto course. It's really, and it's a lot of fun. It's good to wind down, even if it is at 1 a.m. in the morning or something. But it's sick. Yeah, it took a while to set up and stuff, but now that I've got it set up, it's so fun, man. Getting on, especially in the lockdown stuff. I guess like day to day, like when we're out of lockdown, probably not that much time, and I'm sure that's what you'll be like as well. Whereas,
Yeah, well, at the moment, you know, you
yeah,
work all
yeah,
day, and then like I got home tonight, and it was just normal
yeah,
chores. And then
it's
before I knew it,
bedtime. Yeah,
you know, you
yeah,
make dinner, and freaking day's done, man. Like, and that's another thing. Like with this whole thing I got, I'm trying to
yeah,
sleep better. I'm 100% know for a fact that you'd be punching 5-6 hours a night.
yeah. About that. Yeah, yeah.
Yep. And like I had a consistency of it got down to about
You're
5.
crazy though, because you were driving like across Australia all the time, and I was
Yeah,
like,
that's
how? That must be kind of when you burnt out or something a little bit, because you were just like all hours of the night, and I was just like, man, how do you maintain that? That's crazy.
it was getting a bit
Yeah,
silly. And then I did it again
yeah.
recently to go get the trailer before we got into
Which looks
lockdown.
awesome, by the way.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's best thing I
yeah.
ever got, bro.
Looks that as soon as I saw the
Oh,
coffee machine, I was like, I'm sold.
yeah.
That is amazing, and just the being in a space of your own. Yeah,
Yeah. So next time you come to SA, you can come
I'm
in
gonna
there
live in
and
there, bro.
edit or do whatever you need to do, man.
You're like,
It's just
Mate,
our
why are
little
you naked? I'm
mobile.
getting like it's fine. It's all good. I'm just having a bath. It's fine. Yeah, 100%. Man, I can't wait. Like, yeah, me and Jason, we're gonna try as hard as we freaking could to get to SA, to the point where we're trying to get permits and stuff. We're like, look, this is just not gonna happen. Let's just hold off. 2021 is probably gonna be the year, for sure.
Yeah, hopefully, man.
I reckon.
It's,
Look, it has to be. Can't
yeah.
can't stretch it out for too much longer. Yeah. Rad. Should we answer a couple more? If anyone's got any more questions, feel free to throw them through. And then, man, I feel like we've been here for like an hour and 45 minutes. Not bad. It's been so good chatting to you, dude. It's awesome.
Yeah,
It's good
likewise,
to catch
bro.
up, eh?
I've learned so much about
Hey,
you.
it's been an interesting
It's
life.
Yeah,
But Australia's been
Jesus.
freaking good to me, so I'm stoked on that. Yeah,
That's good, man.
it's so
That's
good. Pretty girl, cool cars, nothing wrong with it.
Yep.
Hell yeah. But
We got one dog or two?
two, husky and a kelpie. Yeah.
Two. That's
Like,
right.
that's
Yep.
another thing that keeps me freaking going during lockdown. Dog walks are the best, man. Yeah, some days, yeah, it's the only time you get out of the house. It's freaking sick. It's so good. Let's finish up. We'll finish up with a couple of questions just for the lols. Matt Zammit said, if money wasn't an issue, what would be your ultimate drift build?
You going first?
You go first. I need to think.
Money's
Nah,
not an issue.
no issue with money.
I'm pretty simple, man. Like money's not an issue. Well, oh man, I've freaking built my dream car.
That's what I was gonna say. It would be so close to what you're running.
Like I'd obviously make it lightweight. Like that thing weighs so
Oh, really?
much, man. I'd stuffed
Yeah.
up there.
That's crazy.
But I didn't really worry about it because the heavier your car is, an
Yeah,
FD,
the
the
wider
wider
tyre
tyre
you
you
can
can
run.
run.
What would be
So,
what's the width of your tyre that you could run if you're running FD? 315.
yeah, 305 or 315, yeah. Because it weighs 1,500
And what are you
kilo.
running at the moment? 265.
2.6, yeah. I've never put anything bigger than a 2.6 on it, and it
I
freaking
bet
hauls
it'd be
ass.
scary, eh? Yeah, that's crazy. And then in like
Yeah.
Drift SA though, you have to run 235s on.
That is exactly why the Beamer doesn't get used.
Oh,
Because
okay.
it wouldn't go
Yeah,
into
so
it.
that
It's
is
just-
why you don't use it. And obviously, I
Yeah.
don't know though. I feel like you got to weigh up the risk versus reward as well in an event. And like Drift SA,
Oh,
you'd be like,
yeah.
look, if I had crashed the BMW here, not that like Drift SA is rad, but you kind of want it to be at a bigger event, I guess. Not bigger, but just you know
Yeah.
what I mean, bigger scale maybe. Whereas the Somvia is
Yeah.
freaking more than enough. People love that thing.
Yeah. And the thing with drifting SA is whether I bring the Beamer or the
Yeah.
Somvia, a 160 kilowatt CA 180SX is going to be able
Yeah,
to keep
because
up
of the
with
way
it.
the layouts.
Oh,
and
the
the
layouts, the
235s,
tyre
yeah.
roll, and the judging line, like it's all perfect.
Yeah, for lower power.
No matter,
yeah.
no matter what you rock
Yeah.
up in, you're going to be pretty much even.
Because Stewie's a legend. He loves the low power as well as the high power.
Yep.
Yeah, for sure. That's freaking mad.
Yep.
Cam Martin says, what's the first event you ever won? And how old and what car?
First event. 2009. Oh, I think 2009. It was a G1 like state
Yep.
series, and it was when the CDS car was still in Australia, like the massive Toyo tyres truck, and I actually beat it. It was like, and I was on Newtons, and they were on 265 R1Rs. I was on a 235 Newton, but
wrapped. How old were you?
just like 20 or something, 21.
So good.
I think that was the one. That's the one I remember the most right now. And my it was a 1V then, but it was red. I think I might have won something when it was blue, but it was like the lower class stadium drift, maybe. I don't know.
Right. That's so good.
Yeah. I come last a few times, like dead last.
I've done that. That's good.
Yeah. It's me.
That is what helps you grow as a human. That's the concrete you need to swallow, I reckon, before you can start winning stuff. Shout out Cam Martin, by the way. Mini Adam LZ, freaking legend. Just like to take the piss.
He's a good
someone
egg.
said, when are you dyeing your hair blonde?
Blonde or just...
When are you bleaching your hair to match mine, as someone said? I don't know, like...
Well, it's fun.
Yeah.
It's funny they say that because I've got a lot of greys, and I'm going to have to either start hiding them or start just flaunting them.
Tara's found a couple of my hair while she was dyeing my hair, so they're gone now. Gone.
Dude, I got heaps.
Yeah.
Like, that's a YouTube life, man. Stress.
Dude, straight up. That's what I was saying. Like, people like, you got to be built for it. LZ, man, what a unit. The way that he just films and edits. Not anymore. He's now got the other dude. But when he was here, he was up to like 3-4 in the morning while everyone's partying. He's just editing his vlogs. You got to be committed, man. Got to be committed. It's crazy, huh?
Fucking oath. Well, that's what I do when I go to New Zealand.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
You just stay up, get your vlogs done.
So I just stay up, and everyone's just like, dude, you're going to get some sleep. I'm like, nah, man, just let me get one. Because you're so pumped and motivated. You got to use that energy while you got it. Because as soon as you get back home...
Freaking flat again, huh? Yeah.
You're on the downhill slope, man, you know?
Shout out Oliver Smith for the super chat. He said just supporting. So thank you, Oliver. You're a freaking legend.
Good on you,
Appreciate
Oliver.
that, bro. Dylan Rastrick and Julius actually has both asked if we're ever coming to New Zealand. I 100% am. Glory Days is an event there, deal which I would love to come to and hang out with my New Zealand buddies.
Glory Days is
it looks
mean,
ridiculous.
Man.
The level of build in New Zealand is, even in just the grassroots cars, is insane. It's freaking...
Yeah.
They go to the next level. Like Dylan's car, for example, is like full pro car here, and that's just a grassroots S13 in New Zealand. It's freaking nuts, eh? Yeah, it's sick. So I can't wait to get home. I was hoping to get home for Christmas, but obviously probably not going to happen. So as soon as we can, I reckon I'm going to head there.
Yeah, when you do, I'm keen to go.
Dude, New Zealand and Japan are both on my bucket list at the moment.
You have to do a round
Yeah,
trip.
I was chatting to a couple of people. Man, I just want to drink some strongs in Japan and go drifting. Not in that particular order, obviously, but I friggin' cannot wait. Amazing. We can wrap it up. I reckon we've done well.
You got any more questions?
Do we have any more questions? Oh, maybe we do. Mitch Laurie said budget build off together. I reckon I'd have the upper hand on that. Jake doesn't know how to do a budget build.
Yeah, I suck.
He'd rock up with... Jake doesn't know the meaning of budget build. It would be fun, though. Luke Fink. What's up, Luke Fink? Welcome to the party, dude. You're late? You are late.
You're late, bro.
But better late than never. I just want to give a massive shout out to Luke Fink. You're a legend, dude. Everything you're doing.
He's probably been editing. He's probably been on the grind all night. Now he's only tuned in.
Because he's doing the daily vlog thing, which is something that I can't even comprehend. So
you got to take your hat off for that.
Absolutely. And with a family and kids.
Yes.
Freaking gnarly. But I reckon his misso, she's the actual powerhouse of the family. So Luke likes to pretend. What the F happened to your hair? I don't even know what you're talking about. So it's.
You got to go back to the start, bro.
We've all done that.
Yeah, we talked.
Slim Shady, Alan DeGeneres. I'm the new host for our show.
What's this? What's this, Mike? Any plans for an LS?
Oh,
bro, what?
No comment. My friend Dave Andrews is doing the LS, and I commend him for his efforts, but it's a poor engine choice. I don't know, man. I've never been a fan of you. You always do what you're passionate about, and I've just never been a fan of V8s.
Oh, so you're not doing that?
No, they're taking the piss, I think, or they're trying to convince me. No.
They're probably just trying to wind me up.
They probably are. Are you an anti V8, or you just don't? You just wouldn't build one.
I just do not understand how people think they sound good.
Correct. I'm also on board with that.
I'm baffled, man. Like, how? Like, they're terrible.
I get it from like
$100,000 on them, like freaking, Carl Thompson's in New Zealand. Then it sounds nuts, but
well, I mean, I feel like I understand it from the get in, put your foot down, and they just go. Because let's be honest, I've spent a lot of money on my setup and it hasn't been the most reliable, so I can't talk about that. So in that sense, all the LS dudes are doing laps around me, but you do it because I do shit because when I get in the car, I want to hear the noise that makes me stoked, and LS just wouldn't do it for me. But in saying that, I love you guys that have LSs, and I'll always drive with you and drive faster than you and sound better than you. Barra, on the other hand, I'm not against the Barras, but everyone's so hurt. No, look, I still love you guys. See, this is the thing, you can't say stuff like this on live because then people start to get. Look, if Mike.
Sorry, bro, I'm throwing you under the bus.
No, well, we've got to stay honest, and I'm just being honest, so it's good. But like I said, the LS dudes run rings around me in terms of actual lap time, so good on them.
Oh, me too.
So it's all good. It's all good. Any plans to do something Jay-Z? As soon as my wallet gets big enough, I'm in.
Yeah, I'm hearing you.
Jay-Z is, I freaking love him for sure. But
I got freaking spoiled with them in China.
Yeah. How good are they?
Oh, they're stupid, man. They're like, that's probably the most torquiest engine I've ever driven with.
They sound good.
And I was just like, I was missing gears, and it's just going straight to limiter anyway. I'm like,
that is crazy, huh? Yeah, that's sick. They seem to be the go-to for everyone, other than the cooling issues that they have. They seem to be freaking amazing. Bo's here with his LS Cressida. Battle of the Beamers. Call him out, Mike. Make him drive. I'm not going to call you out because my car probably won't even make it to the start line, but. Yes, and plus, I feel like I wouldn't even... the picture, by the way, I hope you guys enjoyed the Photoshop of the thumbnail for this video.
I freaking love it.
It's fake. It's not real. Me and Jake weren't tandeming on that hill, so...
I'm waiting for Tracy to get a hold of it.
Oh, man, everyone's pretty unhappy about the V8 thing, but that's fine. I'm fine with that. Just wondering if Jake agrees that CA is a superior engine choice for an S13.
Oh, hell no.
RB. I love CAs. I think they're underrated for sure.
Oh, CAs are good, don't get me wrong. But why not just add 2 more cylinders?
They literally are. If you actually look at them, they're actually just an RB with 2 less cylinders.
Yep.
And this ain't a spot on with the way that they do things.
Besides the SR.
Well, I think, you know what? I think the SR got a bad rep from people putting SRs together with half okay bits and then blowing them up and saying that SRs always blow up.
I've never even... The only one I've ever driven is that Team Orange school car.
Also trying to push like 600 kilowatt or whatever they try and do. Or not 600, but you know what I mean. Massive power out of an SR. They still are a 2-litre engine. So I think anything over 3 or 350 and you're starting to ask questions. I'm saying all the wrong things right now for the SR people. Shout out Jay Scott. Love your S14. That thing rocks.
You're just digging holes, eh?
That's what I do. It's my whole life. That's good. What are your thoughts on the N54 engine? I haven't actually ever had one. Do you know what N54 is? You're a BMW dude, right?
No.
BMW engine.
No, I've never even seen that engine.
Cam actually did say, Cam Martin actually did ask, why'd you RB the M3? But I'm going to assume it's because that...
What?
Why did you RB the M3?
Oh, just because
I knew that it was going to be the answer. Yeah, I thought so.
And I got the chassis on a pallet, so it had nothing in it.
Yeah, and you're not going to F around with BMW motors because they're rubbish. They're not.
And I was obsessed with the 10,000 RPM RB that the Power Tune boys were pumping out for drag cars,
Alright.
and I'm like, I want that in a drift car.
Let's do this. Who has had worse luck this year, Mike or Squid? Compare stats.
Wow, that's a wicked
That's a great question. What have I done this? Mount Gambier was last year, so that doesn't count. I broke everything twice in the driveline.
Should we take it back for 2
Yep.
years? Because this year's been a bit of a... I'm definitely going to win that with my New Zealand disasters.
Oh man, actually, someone did ask that. Actually, I want to ask that question that someone asked. Let's ask it quickly before we compare stats. Andy Gnad, Gnad. I hope I'm saying his name right. How hard was it to start beat in your recent D1NZ campaign with the car being such a lemon? I don't think the car was a lemon. I can't remember. Love the vlogs, but a shame that you never really got to showcase your driving ability. I think it was just bad luck, wasn't it?
A bit of bad luck. I'd say bad luck because the car hasn't had any love for a long time.
Yeah.
So there's just lots of little things wrong
How
with it.
insane is it though that you get to go over and drive? Like that's pretty cool to get a drive. Or is there a lot to it?
Hell yeah. Yeah, there's always
Of
a lot
course,
to it.
yeah.
Like the idea was to send my Beamer over there,
Yeah.
but I just couldn't get the funds together.
Yeah.
So the money that I had saved up, I just spent driving the 86. So it was like a hire, arrive, drive.
So cool.
Find my own like crew to look after it. So DKM boys come on board and help me out there as much as they possibly could. Like
They got their own cars to deal with, right?
car.
As well.
Yeah, and they got a workshop to run, and they get the car sort of last minute, do what they can to it, make sure it's all good, and then we found all the problems at the track, because we didn't test or anything, and it was just. But the car is probably killer now. Like everything's fixed now, and Brendan, the owner of D1, took it out on the weekend at Chrome, I think it is, and he probably just blazed all my tyres that I had left over.
So it's because you couldn't make the last round because of COVID, but other than that, you would have been there at the stadium drift. Is that right?
Yeah, me and Fink were going to go do the last 2 rounds, but we couldn't get over there. So
that's all right. 2021.
It sucked.
Sucked. Crazy. That's so good. I mean, how did you stay positive through that? I mean, kind of didn't.
Yeah.
I mean, behind the scenes, I'm sure there would have been a couple of swear words here and there.
Yeah, it sucked, man.
Yeah.
It did. Like, not going to lie. It just reminded me of when I took my own car there back in 2010. It was just disaster after disaster. And then, obviously the big crash I had at Bay Park. I come back and I just, I lost all motivation for ages.
Yeah. I know exactly how you feel.
I remember, I think I even spoke to you about it, like, getting a little G up by talking to you, like trying to get me back in a shed or 100%. Do something,
No, but when you spend so much money and nothing comes of it, it's such a... But, in saying that, it makes for really good vlogs. Because the vlogs where everything goes well, people don't seem to do anywhere near as good as vlogs where things break. I don't know if you noticed that, but when there's...
As soon as you put something in your title, like crash or drama or this blew up or whatever, people are like, hell yeah, I want to watch this.
Luke's missus asked if I'm wearing makeup. I promise you I'm not, and I don't know if that's a compliment or not. But I'm not. Someone asked, didn't really ask the question. They said it looks like a dream, but the high-speed entries at Pukekohe.
Yeah, amazing.
Best corner ever? Like, in terms of entry speed?
I'm not going to lie here. It took me, I think it took me 2 full sessions to grow the balls to just hold it pinned. Because it helps you out in the end anyway. So, like, I was coming up to it, sort of easing into it, finding out what the right speed was going to be. And then, after Keg just said, look, mate, just go straight into it flat out. It's going to help you. Like, the momentum will just
pull you through.
Breeze straight through the corner. And it did.
You would have just been so G'd up,
Start all the way to the entry point and just threw it in.
So good.
It's amazing. The best feeling. Until your window comes out and goes flying across the track.
Yep.
And did you see that?
Yeah, I saw the window. Didn't that go like viral, the Ejecto Cedo window?
Yeah, the Ejecto.
So good.
Yeah.
That is
Oh,
freaking epic.
man.
Yeah, well, far out, man. That's a dream. Like doing Pukekohe one day. That'd be sick. The D1NZ in general is just very, very, like, such a well-run competition.
Yeah.
And they've got their marketing and stuff down point as well. It's just so cool to see. They've got to deal with Sky at the moment, which makes it really hard to watch from Australia, which is a bummer. But
It's all on KO.
no way. Really?
They only just signed the deal, so like you can watch all the replays.
I was
on
wondering
KO
because
now.
I looked. I don't know when they signed the deal because I have KO, but I couldn't find it last event. So maybe they did it just after that, or I'm just an idiot and couldn't find it.
No, they did it just after last event.
That's mad because all I want to do is just watch all the drift series. Jay Scott, yes, I do moisturize. That's how I stay so young looking. So cheers, bro. And no, I'm not pregnant. I am just glowing. So thank you guys for being the best live stream people ever. Far out, man. I need to get off this thing. Damn. I love it. Awesome. I reckon we can leave everyone be. We're like over 2 hours now, almost, maybe.
Yeah, I reckon we have.
Oh, we have. We've hit the 2 hour mark. Thank you so much for taking your time to hang out.
Thank you,
been
bro.
Sick, dude.
It's been good.
I was pumped for it all day. I've never actually interviewed anyone before, so no. So I was just trying to kind of get G'd up, but it's been freaking fun. So I reckon we're gonna have to do a couple more of stuff like this. But I'm keen to get together and actually do a collab of some kind in the future. Whether we throw some money in the bucket and do a budget build for laughs. Once the stuff, I need to come to SA anyway. It's on the bucket list as soon as everything blows over. So I'm keen as to come hang out. We need to do some drifting together. We need to go. I want to go to Archerfield and do some drifting with Luke as well. I
think we should actually just try and get up there once this COVID thing's.
Luke was talking about doing the he was, you know how they had have you seen the Freedom 500 at the Cletus McFarlane's factory? They had all the YouTubers. Luke was going to do something similar at the Archerfield where we'd all fly up, buy like a shitty car, and then do that and live stream it and stuff as well. So fingers crossed he's still going to do it because that would be epic. So something like that we need to get into for sure. But we'll do some stuff in the future, 100%.
Sounds good, bro.
Everyone, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button on both channels. Go buy both merch.
You're right.
Go buy Jake's merch whenever he decides to get it online.
Don't worry about me, man. Everyone just go and smash all Mike's videos because he needs more credit.
It is what it is, man. I'm having a good time. So
yeah, but you do such a good job, bro.
Appreciate it, man.
Like you need that bigger reach, man. Like there's no difference to what all you YouTubers in Australia are doing compared to all the American
That's it.
ones.
Well, we're all going to have each other's backs, I think. There's a lot more to be done.
Yeah.
But I appreciate it. Thank you guys so much for watching. You guys are all legends. Thank you for all your questions. And we'll see you in the next videos on both of our channels. And awesome. I appreciate it, man.
No worries, bro. Hope everything goes well with lockdown and that. And just stay positive.
Always, man. That's the key. Yeah, boy. Cheers, guys. You.
See you guys.
Awesome. Thanks, Jake, man.